My name is Millie Hazel. I'm an AS level media student at the Billericay School. We were set the task of creating a 2-minute opening sequence to a genre of our choice. I chose to create a thriller/psychological film as I thought it would be an interesting and challenging genre to film. I had little experience with the editing software I used, as before starting this project I only used it briefly whilst creating my preliminary task. The media platforms that I used were Final Cut Express, YouTube, LiveType and Tumblr. By doing the preliminary task before, it allowed me to gain knowledge and try out software ready for my opening sequence. It also made my opening sequence a professional quality, which would then appeal to a wider audience. Before I created my opening sequence, I analysed many different opening sequences of different genres. I'd done this to help me decide what genre to choose. I mainly analysed the thriller genre to help me understand the conventions of a typical thriller opening sequence. By doing this, it would then help me to create my opening sequence. I use Tumblr throughout my course to post my coursework on. These posts include planning, production and post-production work such as evaluations. By using Tumblr, it is an example of multimedia convergence as we are able to post links to other websites, photos and videos. Some links I have included are YouTube and Amaze, which are platforms that I use throughout my coursework. For my opening sequence, I created a picture on PowerPoint where I included what genre I had chosen, the locations, characters, narrative, representation, key shots and sound I would be using. Once my planning was completed, I began to film for my opening sequence. After filming the majority of the shots for my film, I noticed some shots could be vastly improved. For example, where the camera pulled out of focus because the camera wasn't steady. Once I refilmed, I started to edit on Apple's Final Cut Express. Once finishing editing my clips together, I realised my opening sequence was too long, so I decided to cut some of the ending out. However, it worked well with the narrative of the film as it now leaves the audience on a cliffhanger. During production, I watched a documentary called Side by Side. This discussed whether film or digital is a better film format. I found that digital is becoming used more in the film world now, as it is much cheaper to use and less time consuming. On film, you'd only be able to record 10 minutes worth of footage and then send the dailies off to be developed. Whereas on digital, you can just instantly watch back your footage and refilm it if it is needed. Due to proliferation in hardware, digital is always improving. There are now better quality and smaller, more portable cameras than there were 10 years ago. In 2009, the film Slumdog Millionaire was released and won an Oscar for the best cinematography on digital film. The camera department used many portable consumer cameras to be able to film different shots within locations limitations. Small cameras are now commonly used to film segments of the film that larger and heavier cameras wouldn't be able to. There are now a wider range of affordable media products on the market that allow people to create their own films comfortably within a low budget. As I have done for my opening sequence, people can now purchase laptops and editing software to allow them to create and edit their own high-quality piece of media. Online sites such as YouTube and Vimeo allows people to distribute their film as well. This is known as technological convergence. By creating my opening sequence, I have increased my understanding of what is needed to finish a professional piece of film. From research and planning, I have learnt about the convergence of technology, proliferation of hardware, and the democratisation of film. I have demonstrated how to edit in post-production using a range of software like Final Cut and how to work consumer level hardware so that the footage looks professional. Finally, I have learnt that with no established or clear narrative, a film won't have any chance of being as successful as others.